Chapter 15. Renewal, reform, state building in Europe. All right, reform. I talked to a man, I spent 27 years at Lockheed, and I talked to a man at Lockheed one time who told me, where we come from, we did not have a Reformation. I felt like saying to him, no, but you needed one. Where I come from, we did have a Reformation. And yes, we needed one. Reform. The period of time we're talking called the Reformation. Yes, Europe needed a Reformation. Everybody today thinks so. The Black Death had hit Europe. The Black Death was still around, and even in the year 1500. The Black Death first hit Europe in 1307. Europe began to recover, and this recovery was known as the Renaissance. All right, out of the Renaissance. Now again, folk, when I was in undergrad school, I took a whole semester course on just the Renaissance. And then I took another one in the spring. In the fall, I took Renaissance and the spring Reformation, but we can't spend that much time on it here. Renaissance produced artists like Michelangelo, Da Vinci. If Da Vinci would have lived 100 years later, he might have invented the airplane. The problem was the technology of his day. Just simply, he could not. He knew about the steam power. No one has ever gotten a steam engine to fly an airplane because steam is much too heavy. Gasoline, yes, and they're working on electric. They have electric motors that can fly airplanes. But steam, never. Kings began to become more powerful, and they built up states at this time, state building. Again, Da Vinci, if he could have lived a little bit later, no telling what he might have done, but he paved the way for the invention of, for the Industrial Revolution that came later. Now, another man who lived at this time was Machiavelli. Machiavelli told Europeans that the prince was not bound by any kind of moral code. Reminds me of John Kennedy's father, Joseph Kennedy, who said money makes its own morality. But anyway, Machiavelli said it was okay for the prince to lie, to cheat, and yet he had to pretend like he was morally upright. But underneath this moral upright exterior, he could lie, he could cheat, he could steal, he could kill, anything at all to advance the cause of the state and to keep order in the state. Every European prince condemned this doctrine, and yet most of them practiced it. Machiavelli would have said, yeah, you're doing what I asked you to. You're doing what you're supposed to do. Condemn me because you're supposed to, but nevertheless, practice anyway. Popes officially protested this doctrine, but underneath, many of them practiced anyway. Do whatever it takes to get your cause advanced at the expense of everything. Now, hey, don't get me wrong, I do not believe this myself, but nevertheless, Machiavelli taught it. Now,
Professor?
yes.
I have a question to ask.
Okay.
Only because I got here late, I apologize. So I didn't really understand. What chapter were you lecturing
I was
on?
I was on chapter 14 at the beginning.
14, okay.
And now I'm on chapter 15.
All right.
Okay, now everybody, this is a 3-hour class, and every other teacher will do this. Be back at 12:30.
Oh, like a break?
It's a break, yeah, this is an official break. Any teacher would do this, folks, yes.
Yes.
For a 3-hour, yeah, it's for a 3-hour class. Be back at 12:30.
Yeah.
myself.
Oh, I'm a lousy typist. Anyway, go ahead.
I guess it's just, even though your head,
Yeah, I don't care. I just assume when you have your laptops, like a lot of you do, that you're taking notes.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm
And
doing.
I
I have
assume
my
that
Google Drives for
I
each class.
don't. There was a time when teachers would frown on these things, but anymore I don't care. And if you're recording what I say, well, hey, I'm recording it too. So
Yeah.
what's the deal?
So, I was curious about, how to access the recordings for, study purposes. Well, I
Okay.
know how to access them, it's just like the way they're put up there, you know what I mean?
All right, here's the thing now. For instance, now, the first test, I might put down Michelangelo.
Yeah.
And you're to tell me that Michelangelo was a Renaissance literary figure. Or if I put down Machiavelli, that he was an Italian, well, I didn't mention it, but that he was a writer who wrote that the prince was not bound by any kind of moral standard. That the prince was free to act in any way he saw
And I
fit.
am writing down what you're saying about that.
And of course, there's a multiple choice test.
Yeah.
In a multiple choice test, Machiavelli, put down a choice.
So
He was
statistically, there's a 25%.
Yeah, he was a
chance
British
no matter what.
king, which would be wrong. He was, he was, a Spanish explorer, which would also be wrong.
Man, I always feel bad when there's like work dog because you can't pet them, and I'm just like, I just want to pet the dog.
I act like he's, hey, I don't treat him bad, but he has legal permission.
No, I know, but like, just every time I see a dog, I just want to pet the dog.
Yeah,
I'm, a,
and you
big,
don't.
I'm a big
You
dog
don't.
person.
I like dogs myself, but you don't.
But yeah, I have the electronic book open as well, and I can control F like every one of these things that you're putting up
Yeah.
here, and that's another reason why I got it.
Yeah.
It's easier to find information and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm.
Your classmates could stand all kinds of liberal junk. Maybe, but they don't like.
I just think that's.
I know, and they love it. They can't.
Like, you know what's funny? I brought up something about Hillary Clinton's email scam, and someone else brought up Trump just because. I'm like,
Like I said, they were both morally bankrupt.
yeah, I'm not saying that they weren't.
That's it. But
It's just crazy how much of like a civil war, how much we can't tolerate one another nowadays.
that's one reason I didn't quit. People like me were supposed to have not existed anymore. And guess what? We do. And we found out when Britain voted Brexit in, and then our nation voted Donald Trump, that, hey, my type of people exist.
Yeah. Though I agree with most of you, there's some parts where I'm kind of like, but I'm not saying that you're wrong. You know what I
I
mean?
hear that. Well, but also, if you make people feel uncomfortable, the greatest teacher I know did the same thing. Stepped on toes.
It's funny how that one guy just up and left. I mean, come
Let him,
on.
let him.
But yeah, I'm just
He was
trying
showing tolerance. He was showing
to.
respect for another opinion.
But yeah, I'm doing my best to take the notes. I guess I'm just, most people usually read off of
But we can
PowerPoints
talk.
and whatnot.
I need to get a drink.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a little bit dry. I'll be back. We can talk after class.
Well, I have another class in 15 minutes
Oh.
after this one, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. Down most of the time, going by everything.
Yeah, that figured out, and I just write down what he has on the board, like just the name and stuff, go back home, read over.
Use the book or whatever. I'm using the online version just to find stuff.
I like having a physical copy just to be safe.
Yeah.
Man, the reason why, I get that, but at the same time, that book was like $200. The ebook was like $30.
That book is doing wrong?
It was like $200 new, right?
I don't remember how much I got this for.
It's like in the hundreds from what I saw.
Definitely in the hundreds. I don't think it might be. I don't know.
So I got the ebook for $30, and I was like,
Okay.
make the choices. Can I see?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Just the cover, you don't need to show me anything else. Yeah, it has the exact same cover and everything.
You got it?
Yeah. There.
Let's see. Okay. Okay. Okay, we'll start. The class looks smaller than it did. That's breaks. I've attended about 4 high school class reunions, and the last one I attended 2 years ago, we all had to wear name tags. None of us know each other anymore. And they don't realize it. You get to, I mean, it was our 50th year. We graduated in 1967. The year was 2017,
Okay,
50
that makes sense.
years.
That
And
makes
none of us,
sense.
except for, of course, I knew my brother-in-law. One of my classmates married one of my sisters. And, but we had to wear name tags to recognize each other. But there's an award they give out that I have never received, and folks, it's an award that I don't want. And that's the award for least changed. If I have not changed from what I was in high school, I'm a failure. But anyway, then my wife got that award when I went to her reunion with her. These changed. All right, anyway, leaving that, we're talking about the Reformation now. But backing up just a little bit, Italy and Germany were disunited during the period we're talking about, so there was no Italy. Italy, well, it was a geographical term. It's like someone said to me one time, there is no nation called Scandinavia. No, but Scandinavia is a geographic term. But anyway, Italy was a geographic term, so was Germany. Italy and Germany were disunited, and they remained so until 1870. Now in Spain, not only did Ferdinand and Isabella drive out the Moors, the Muslims, they also drove out Protestants and Jews, and most historians would tell you this was a huge mistake, because Spain lost some of its best people